Welcome back to the Law News Network. I'm your host, Jesse Weber. Our feed in the Tom Lewis trial got cut off, but as soon as we get back to it, we'll send it right back. But I am joined with Ken Belkin here to discuss the closing arguments of both the defense and the prosecution in the Tom Lewis case. Ken, good to see you.
Good to see you again, Jesse.
Good to see you. So we're watching a little bit of it so far. It's my opinion. I think the defense is making a stronger argument than the prosecution in their closing. Then again, it just might be the nature of this case. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't mean to make light of this case. It's very tragic, but man, that prosecution closing was a snooze fest. I've noticed an interesting phenomenon just in my own personal experiences. Sometimes when the prosecution doesn't have a strong case, they get a little desperate in their closing arguments and they meander, they go off on tangents because they just want to win and they know they're not going to.
I mean, I thought the prosecution, this was a great line, it was hysterical. No one, even if they checked that there was no way that they could have known. The argument for the defense is that even if they had checked the bullets, there was really no way they could have known the difference between that ammunition and the blanks. And she goes, I don't buy that. That's her argument. I don't buy that. It doesn't seem really strong for the prosecution. I think the defense is making a good argument that this is a nonsense situation. Yes, Lee Cole, you can't ignore it. Lee Cole's the one who's responsible here. And if you look strictly at the law and those jury instructions that are going to be put forward to the jury, the idea that it was likely or reasonably likely that he should have known, Tom Lewis, that this was going to create a dangerous situation and someone was going to be killed, it doesn't work well here. So I'm curious to hear what you think about that.
Look, they elicited testimony that there were departmental policies and that at the end of the day, Lee Cole broke that policy. This captain, Tom Lewis, there's only so many places he can be at once. Yes, he's the head of a department. He has to make sure that there are policies in place. And, at the end of the day, Lee Cole broke this policy. And his breaking of the policy, in my opinion anyway, supersedes Captain Tom Lewis's liability in this instance.
Well, I'll play devil's advocate here. If we switch it up for a second, this would have never happened. So if we talk about in law, this would never have happened, but for Tom Lewis creating a demonstration in the first place not live ammunition, but where real guns were used that were put with blanks. That was the protocol that was put forward. This would have never happened if Tom Lewis hadn't implemented this policy. Then again, other departments have used this in the past. So if you know what, and we'll turn back to that question because we actually do have live coverage now in the Tom Lewis closing argument. So let's take a look at that.